Sophie Smith. I was born and raised here in Multnomah County. I went to Lincoln High School. I live here now as a professor of women's health and global leadership, and I'm here today because my grandparents survived Nazi concentration camps to have my mother who had me. This history lives inside me, and I bear responsibility now to urge you to call for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. 14 of my family members were exterminated, from great-grandmothers to small children. The names of our dead are inscribed on the Oregon Holocaust Memorial here in the county, along with my mother's as survivor. It is our cemetery because there's no final resting place for our people who perished in the Shoah. But now, for 118 days, I wake up each morning to new images of dead children, of dead parents, of dead elders, buried in the rubble, held in mass graves, or left shrouded on the streets of Gaza, all murdered with the tools of state terror, and this time with US-supplied bombs and bullets. I never thought I would grow accustomed to seeing such images outside of the Nazi archive, and I'm horrified that my family's victimization at the hands of a murderous state is being used to justify the eradication of entire family lines in Gaza by a belligerent regime today. This is a perversion of politics to which I must answer clearly as a descendant of survivors to say, never again means never again for anyone. When it comes to what will keep us all safe from catastrophe, including our Jewish and Palestinian communities and everyone here today, I am reminded of the wise inscription on the Holocaust Memorial, which tells us that, quote, our precious life rests on the moral strength to believe in our common humanity and to act upon that belief. So I ask today, will we act now? Will we do our part with confidence to call for a ceasefire to protect the children of Gaza? Or will we be among those who stood by and did nothing while unspeakable atrocities are unleashed on our human community? History will judge us all for what we do here today, commissioners. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jenna, and I'm a Palestinian American, and I have lived here in Oregon my whole life, specifically Portland, Oregon. I am a daughter of a Palestinian refugee. In 1967, my father was ethnically cleansed from his village Silat al-Dahar in what's now called the West Bank. Through educational opportunities, my dad came here to Oregon and made his life. Now I'm married to a Palestinian man from Gaza, and we are making our own little life here in Oregon. I'm here today in support of the ceasefire resolution calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire and humanitarian aid for Gaza. For 117 days, I have lived with fear and worry as my family in Gaza struggled daily to meet their needs. I saw my friends and family here, worried, and unspeakable darkness and fear in their eyes as we all saw the daily injustices, indignities, and losses our friends, families, and acquaintances face. As I'm speaking now, upwards of 26,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza by Israel and over 65,000 injured. Homes, hospitals, schools, cultural and community centers destroyed. Over 1.9 Palestinians are internally displaced with their homes and livelihoods destroyed by Israel. Palestinians and our supporters have been engaging with our community for years through events and campaigns to have our city, county, and state end our complicity in violating the human rights of Palestinians. Now, the momentum of this movement has coalesced to demand that Multnomah County live up to its values of social justice, health for all, safety for all, economic and environmental well-being for all communities. During these 117 days, Portlanders of all ages and backgrounds have come out in these streets, rain, shine, ice, to demand a ceasefire now. Businesses have shut it down for Palestine. Portlanders have consistently and clearly demanded one thing: ceasefire now. With these values, there is no doubt that at the bare minimum, Multnomah County must support a ceasefire now.
Good morning.
Thank you for holding this session. My name is Curtis Bell. I'm a past president of Unitarian Universalists for Justice in the Middle East, UUJME, and a member of First Unitarian Church here in Portland. UUJME is a national organization of Unitarian Universalists working for the human rights of all people in Palestine and Israel, both Palestinians and Jews. The basic principles of Unitarian Universalism include respect for the worth and dignity of every human being and a world at peace. Unitarian Universalists have acted on these principles. Thus, our organization has called for a ceasefire in Gaza. Thus, the national leadership of Unitarian Universalist congregations in Boston has called for a ceasefire. Thus, a national organization of Black Unitarian Universalists, Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, has called for a ceasefire and an end to military aid to Israel. We ask you to do the same. The people of Portland are now paying $10 million each year in taxes as their part of the $3.8 billion in military aid that the U.S. gives to Israel each year. That number will be multiplied by 4 or 5 if the $16 billion promised to Israel is awarded. I know you can envision a much better use of $40 or $50 million here in Portland, dollars here at home, than in the killing of innocent Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. The International Court of Justice has declared that Israel may be committing genocide, that they must cease all acts that lead to genocide, and that they must provide the humanitarian aid that is so desperately needed. There is no way those goals can be met without stopping the war with a ceasefire. So I urge you now to support the proposed resolution and call for a ceasefire. Thank you.
My name is Ned Roche. I'm Jewish and know the most Jewish thing I can do is to urge you to champion this resolution. 4 years ago, I taught in Gaza. I shared Gazan voices that cry out to be heard. Omar said that after heavy Israeli bombings, his 4-year-old asked, "Would it be possible to go back in your belly, mommy?" Ahmed expressed, "When I think about my children, I sometimes wish we hadn't had them, not because we don't love them, but because we love them so much." Ralia told me that as bombs were falling, she asked her children what they would do if a bomb hit and they were the sole family survivor. She said she needed to know her kids had a plan. 1% of Gaza's kids have been killed in the past 4 months. Young Nadia told me, "I sleep with a towel over my eyes so when the bombs fall, I won't see them." A Gaza psychologist explained, "Who knows whether the outside devastation from the Israeli bombs will ever be cleaned up, but the devastation in these children's hearts runs frighteningly deep." Standing on the ruins of his home, a man gave me the only thing that survived the Israeli bombing, his doctoral dissertation, a comparative study of Ezra Pound and T.S. Eliot. Perhaps what he was saying is that the one thing Israelis cannot destroy are ideas, not just about Pound and Eliot, but the Palestinian people after 75 years deserve justice. History will not judge most leaders kindly, but it will revere those who, under pressure not to do so, found the courage to say ceasefire now.
Thank you. Next we have